Thank you, Sarah. Welcome to the Hong Kong Science Park, to the ALIVE lab, the Applied Laboratory for Interactive Visualization and Embodiment. I'm just going to give you a very short introduction. Sarah also will then tell you a little bit about a recent project, Place Humping, and then we'll all have the opportunity to just wander around in the ALIVE facility and look at the various installations there. So just to give you just to contextualize a little bit, in case you're not fully aware, the ALIVE lab was set up under the aegis of City University's School of Creative Media, which was founded in 1998. Now, the ALIVE laboratory, which was set up just 3 years ago here, really builds on research that has been going on, I'd say, for the last 15 years. At the ZKM Institute for Visual Media, where I was the founding director of the institute, at the iCinema Centre for Interactive Cinema Research in Sydney, and at Museum Victoria, where Sarah was leading many projects. So, in a way, the ALIVE lab really builds on that history and brings it to a sort of new maturity. I would say that you could say a core thematic of what is going on in the lab revolves around the notion of future cinema, and there are certain, let's say, conceptual drives, the notion of nothing or no thing, creating situations of opportunity, and certain core topics, of course: interactivity, immersion, the panoramic gaze, the viewer as the camera, director, editor, and of course producer, and recombinatory aesthetics. Now, I'm just going to talk a little bit about one particular project, which is AVI, the Advanced Visualization and Interaction Environment, because I think most of you have had a chance to visit the Dunhuang project at Gallery 360. But I'd like to talk a little bit more about this particular project, just to give you a sense of the broad scope of potential applications that arise when one develops a certain, let's say, apparatus that has a certain versatility. So this is something that is very fundamental to our research: the development of tools and resources that can be directed in many different ways. So this is one of the earliest projects, called T-Visionarium, and in this particular project we're dealing with the problem of how to navigate a database of tens of thousands of video clips. And of course this, in a way, reverts back to the kind of research that R.B. Warburg was doing, but now we have the possibility to distribute this kind of information in a virtual 3D space. And this particular work allows you to navigate a very big archive of video clips. Each clip has metadata attached to it. When you click on a particular clip, the system will search for other clips which it feels are similar to that clip. We'll arrange those images in a cluster around what you are looking at, but at the same time we'll put up, let's say, the opposite of what you asked for behind you. So with this full 360 degree, let's say, environment, you are able to cover a scope of response to request that is both directly related to what you asked for and a spectrum towards the, let's say, the opposite of what you asked for. And in this system, you're also able to drag and drop and combine clips together and make your own sequences of clips. It's a 3D application, so these video clips are flying around in space, and you're also able to tune the search algorithm, so you can identify certain characteristics that interest you most, like you might say, I'm interested in the emotional value of the video, or I'm interested in the color, or I'm interested in gender, or I'm interested in whether it's fast moving, indoors, outdoors. Now the same modality of search is here applied to a massive database of museological objects. So this is a project currently underway at Museum Victoria. It's an Australian Research Council research project, and this sort of signals a way in which one may be able to navigate a large database of heterogeneous audiovisual materials. Another project we're currently working on is together with Professor Lou Lancaster. This is a project that revolves around the Korean Buddhist canon, the Tripitaka Koreana. Now, Professor Lancaster has developed a very powerful analytical tool for searching these documents by converting all the characters into blue dots and then changing the colors of these dots to be able to discover patterns in the reoccurrence of certain colored dots in this field of blue dots. But at the same time, a project like this, which involves such an enormous density of data, is somewhat limited by the, let's say, the real estate of a normal screen. So we are looking at strategies for actually distributing this data in 360 degrees around the viewer, so that you're actually immersed in the data space. Now this is the same apparatus here being used in a totally different context. This is a project with the Wooster Group in New York. Here you see a 360 degree video camera, a cluster of video cameras, and set up in a set in the Wooster Group studio. And they created a half-hour performance that was performed around that camera. So now we have the same 360 degree projection environment being used as a space for the distribution of narrative in a 360 degree arena. And the way this was actually manifest was that it was operated by somebody on a chair that could control an area of image that was in focus within an outer space which was out of focus. So basically you're controlling a window of view that is in focus and exploring a full 360 degree movie by rotating your point of view. And of course the area in focus also modulates the soundtrack. Now, at ZKM Karlsruhe, there was another variation of application within the cylinder, which is simply taking Google Earth and remapping it into a 360 degree environment. so that one is able to encounter the Google Earth data in this format. And I'd like to show you a work of artist-in-residence, Jean-Michel Bruyère, who, after seeing T-Visionarium and seeing this play with video clips, made his own work where the video clips this time are his own video clips, which basically is the history of all his own video production. But this is now presented in a kind of, within a sort of organism that is continuously moving and which one is experiencing almost as a kind of roller coaster ride. Again, it's a 3D work, and of course there's an enormous intensity in a work like this to the 3D experience. That concludes my little presentation for you this evening. I now ask Sarah to just talk a little bit about our Place Humpy project.
This evening we're going to do a pre-launch of a new book that we've created on the Place Humpy projects. This is a theoretical text that combines post-processual archaeology with new media and new media discourse. The book draws on 4 projects created over the last 6 years, starting in 2006. They're focused on the World Heritage Site of the site at Humpy, the Kingdom of Vijayanagara. Humpy is simultaneously a monumental World Heritage precinct and a vibrant centre for contemporary pilgrimage, where history, the natural environment, mythology, and everyday cultural practices are closely interwoven. This is a scene from Humpy Bazaar. This is a ritual performance involving Shiva, Virupaksha. This is part of this ritual. That got your attention. This is the birthplace of Hanuman, the monkey god. And Place Humpy is a journey which you will see tonight. It's an augmented 360-degree stereographic panoramas, which originally launched in France for Lille 3000 and toured around the world. This is a video of this installation, but since you're going to see it tonight, I won't dwell here. It's a motorized platform rotating in 360 degrees, and you're driving yourself through this panoramic landscape. It uses quite a rare film camera, 360-degree stereo pair analog camera. The film is drum scanned for projection. You're creating 3D worlds. Ambisonic sound recording, motion capture for animation in the tradition of magical realism from Hindu mythology. The work has had quite a lot of study done on it in terms of embodiment and usability. In 2008, we created an exhibition around this single work, and it was installed at the Immigration Museum in Australia, including simple interactive elements, large-scale light tables. And just this year, just 2 weeks ago, we launched Kaladam, which is a new museum in India. with this entire exhibition. So it's built just 25 kilometers from the site itself. Involves
So it was well known historically.
some unusual features. This is an interview with the archaeologist.
1970s, it occurred to me that there was work to be done here, and I persuaded.
Large-scale light tables, Place Humpy. This is the precinct. It includes artist studios and residencies, dance pavilions, and it's an extremely unusual installation in India. Images from the launch of this just 2 weeks ago. Hanuman, very important person in Hampi. The local Lamani people now have an outlet for their wares at Hampi. This is Lakshmi, the temple elephant who came to the launch. Here she is dressed up, and she lays wreaths around the various dignitaries that arrived at this launch. And this is Lakshmi a few days later having a bath in the local river. The motorboat that you see is illegal at this World Heritage Site. So normally people are going around in these coracles. So that's an elephant having a bath. So between January and August this year, the Archaeological Survey of India have intervened on this site, which is this large pilgrim site. This is Lakshmi again. This is what Hampi Bazaar is like during a major festival. These are some of the images from the Place Hampi work. And this is what happened this year at Hampi. So the Archaeological Survey would like to create a middle-class tourist site for middle-class tourists. They've bulldozed, there were 5,000 refugees made overnight, and a lot of the very temporary structures there for people that have been living there for 40 or 50 years have been removed. This was the barber shop in, I think, in 2008. I took this photo. This is the barber shop today. It's a better view, but you can see what's happened there. I also took this photo a couple of weeks ago, and I put this in because the care of the material world is, and the immaterial world is why we're all gathered here, and it's why this book is important. So I encourage you all to buy a copy. It's just a hand-bound copies here, but you can register to buy a copy, and they'll be out in January. Thank you.